So we are in the process of moving out of our home, and before I did that I figured another good video to shoot would be the workbench that I built, oh gosh, 7 years ago when we first moved into the home. This was a Family Handyman design that I stole from that magazine, which I liked. I haven't been able to find it online, but so I figured this would be good for me as well. Feel free to ask any questions, but basically, workbench designed to go against the side of the garage. A couple neat things here. Built a kind of a gap inside to put the saw and make it at the same level. So that had been screwed into the workbench so that it doesn't move, but it's at the same level. And then also putting in a guide here that goes all the way down, so you can build, or you can at least put in some pretty long pieces of wood. Now the one thing you don't put a guide on this side, but the one thing I did learn was that I had put the clamp here at the end, and there were times when I actually had pieces of wood that were long enough that the clamp got in the way. So not sure if that was the best idea. At least it would have given me a couple more feet to the end. But and behind it, put the pegboard up to be able to hang all the other tools, and then at each end put in some of the heavy-duty shelving here on each end to be able to store other things. So on this end as well. Underneath, so it's 2 levels underneath. Everything is actually bolted into the side of the back of the wall. And the other thing I did is I actually put a vacuum tube sticking out here to come to the back to pick up any of the dust. Now this worked a little bit. Problem I had with it is actually when I turned the vacuum on, so what happened is that it runs all the way across the bottom and then came up underneath. Let me show you here. Came up here, and then I had a hanging vacuum cleaner here that I would attach to that. The problem is that the vacuum was so strong it would create a whistle, and that was extremely loud because it basically is coming out the hole down here from the saw. So I tried putting a hole in the side to see if that helped. That helped a little bit, but it still whistled pretty loud, so I didn't use it too much. The other thing that we did here is it has these drawers that come out. They are on straight wheels underneath, so they basically don't turn. All they do, and they're not attached to anything, they're just rolling along the floor. But because they're on plastic wheels, if it does get wet, nothing's going to happen to them, but they slide right out. The other neat thing about this is for the table saw. Now how this is done is this is attached via a hinges. Here's a little piece. As you can see, there is quite a bit of sawdust in there, and I had used this quite a bit when I was making the bookshelf. But what this does is this slides out. As you can see, it fits just barely past that. So this slides out here like this, and then this lifts up and slides into there and then can lock in place. So what you get, I'll back up a little bit. What you get is a table saw that sticks out and has a little shelf on the back end and comes across here. So then you basically use it this way. Lesson learned here was you really need to make sure that this is exactly level, if not higher than the saw. I think when I first put it in, it was right at that level, and as I was pushing things forward, it was catching. So, but as you can see, and then that's on straight wheels underneath it. So again, you're coming around here, taking this out, folding it down, sliding it back in, and it fits perfectly. Now the nice thing about that was we actually fit a car. This is on a third side of the garage, a third end of the garage, so we would fit a car into this side, which worked out pretty well. So that's it for the workbench. I'm probably going to build something similar in the new home. We'll have to see how that goes, but let me know if you have any questions.